All right, well, we're going to just jump right into our second episode of Matinee Heroes presents Castoff. This time we're doing Rogue One, and if you weren't here for our earlier show, we'll just do a brief explanation of what Castoff is. Castoff is the #1 recasting show, live streaming show on the internet, because we are the only live recasting streaming show on the internet. We're huge in Kuwait and the Philippines and Belgium. I just looked up my chartables. We're huge overseas. None of you know who we are, including our wives and co-hosts sometimes. But I do want to say that Matinee Heroes is a podcast that I do with my lovely assistant. No, he is the main drive, is the main force. Alan Cerny is here tonight. Thank you, Alan. He's the main thing that we talk about. We talk about movies because we love movies. So this is not an ironic podcast. This is a genuine love of movies. Every movie we do, we at least like.
And I must
say,
a fantastic podcast, guys.
Well, thank you very much. Because exactly, somebody on the show likes it, and not ironically. And I know we both love this movie. We saw this movie at a screening together, and it was fantastic. We thought this one could have been a disaster, and it wasn't, because we knew the ending. We knew it had trouble because there was a lot of rewrites and reshoots. But we're going to start off with, we got Erica Corbett, which is the first time I'm getting to use that last name.
It's
Erica
new.
Corbett, congratulations. Since the last time we saw you got married.
Thank you. Yes, yes.
Obviously the better half.
You know.
Obviously. We had my better half here, so that's why we sat here. All the better
Yes.
half sit on this side.
Yes, yes.
So you're with the Raging Nerds. You had your podcast this morning, right?
Yes, we had Raging Nerds this morning. I'm also doing Gaming Trim podcast, and soon, hopefully very soon, I'm going to be releasing a new podcast called Dysfunctional Dailies with my little sister.
Oh, wow. So it's dysfunctional with family. How
yes,
shocking. I'm surprised.
It's perfect. It's drama, wine, everything women want to hear. I love it.
Perfect.
Yes.
And, of course, over here, for a long time, the Rebel Radio podcast and Matinee Heroes would be putting out the same episodes. It was really weird.
Yes.
You would have put
we
out
were
a
just
great...
thinking just alike.
Yeah, I think it was like a 3-month run. It was like every other week, and we didn't talk.
No, it was just
putting out
pure coincidence.
One of us would do it first, and the other one would do the one first.
Right.
Like, oh, but it's a very great show where you also love every movie you talk about.
Oh, yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, well, except we did Arnold Schwarzenegger perspective earlier today, and I'm not so sure I love the Last Action Hero episode, but most movies we did, yeah.
Yeah, well, we did a whole month in April on Arnold, and we even did Maggie, which Alan likes quite a bit. I understand why he likes it, but it's not my favorite. But we wanted to do Schwarzenegger, but we had to go with Arnold April.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger sounds so much better. But the Rebel Radio podcast is fantastic as well.
Thank you.
So make sure you sign up for that. So here we're going to get to the rules of this particular show. I am going to name the actor. I'm going to put their picture up of the original actor, and you're going to give me our replacement. Now, we do this not because we think the actor is not good at the role. It's because we love the character, and we'd like to see other people do it. The best choice, which is going to be voted on by the audience here, gets 1 point. I also will be selecting, and the secret selection also gets a point. Person with the most points wins, because it's America. And if there's a tie, double feature to win, and we'll explain that when and if it happens. This is the first 2 shows I've ever done where I don't know the outcome. So I don't know if it's going to end in a tie or not. So, before we begin, as always, every episode of Castoff is brought to you by Matinee Heroes. And this Saturday, we have our good friend Austin Vachon come on and talk about Independence Day, proving that we have no idea how to plan or read a calendar. Because we should have done this on the 3rd at the beginning of the month. But
you would have copied me again, because we did Independence
well,
Day.
I'm pretty sure everybody in America was doing Independence Day. But it's you can head over to matineeheroes.com/subscribe. And while you're there, you can subscribe to the video stream of the Castoff by going to matineeheroes.com/castoff. So let's get on to Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which I think is a really good entry on its own. I thought it could have been, like I said, it could have been a huge misstep, but I really loved a lot of the characters in this. And we're going to start off with Jyn Erso. Now we're going to start with, I keep saying Elizabeth, we're going to start with Erica. We need to get people with different names that start with E.
Yes.
So Erica, who do you have playing the feisty, stubborn Jyn Erso?
So I picked this actress because I absolutely love how much emotion and dedication she puts into her roles. I picked Miss Olivia Cook. I loved her from Bates Motel. Loved her. She's in Ready Player One, Sounds of Metal. I love that they're both similar in looks. Her eyes give so much emotion in every role she plays. I thought she'd be perfect for the role.
And she plays a lot of dying teens.
Yes.
Because for the first 3 times I saw her, she had a hose in her nose for like the Bates Motel.
Yes.
She's got an oxygen tank. Obviously, me and Earl, she's the dying girl.
Yes.
So yes. And then Ready Player One, that whole movie needs to die. Now, honey, this is Rebecca Ferguson. So I ruined your thing because I always do it. So you have...
I chose Rebecca Ferguson
Why?
to play Jyn. I think because she's feisty and tough, and especially holding her own in the Mission Impossible films. You know, she goes up against Ethan Hunt and is a very strong character, and she's an excellent actress too on that point. And even in y'all's previous show, you were talking about The Greatest Showman. Even in that movie, she's really good in the film, and she's got a lot of range. She can sing, she can do action, and I think Jyn should be someone that could be a strong leader as well.
Oh, she's exceptional.
She's good.
She's going to be in the new Dune movie, because when I put Dune in there, it makes it seem like she was in the original. No, she's quite new and quite obvious. I'm not a big horror person, but Dr. Sleep was a great sequel to The Shining, and she was scary and wonderful in that. So if you have not seen that movie, go see it just for her. She's really good in it. So we have Olivia Cook, Rebecca Ferguson. How many people here think Olivia Cook would be a great Jyn Erso? We got 4. Rebecca Ferguson as we gotta.
He picked a good one.
So yeah, well, you both picked. This is going to be a tough competition, I'm telling you. So Rebecca Ferguson for the win. So Mark, you get the first point,
All right.
which means you get to go next.
Okay.
It's just coincidence.
Yeah.
I went with Emma Watson because I like Hermione, and I think Hermione, as an adult, would kick butt. I got tired of seeing her dance in the Beauty and the Beast things, but I want to see her shoot lasers and be awesome.
I could see that. Yeah.
So now we get to Cassian Andor, who's going to have his own show on Disney Plus because everybody gets their own show on Disney Plus. You get a show on Disney Plus. You get a show on Disney Plus. You get a show on Disney Plus. Everybody gets a show on Disney Plus. So we're going to start with Mark. Mark, who is your choice for I want to say probably one of the most dark characters we've had, because he's not afraid to kill anybody at any moment.
Yeah, and
he's the good guy.
Yeah, and this was kind of this was the hardest one I had to pick because I really like Diego Luna in the role. Mm-hmm. But I went with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, JGL.
And the reason why is people remember him from the Batman films, but like I think back to Looper, whenever he would do whatever he could to survive the situation he was in that movie. So he could play dark, but he also can play kind of sly, like an underground leader, as he was doing as he helped Jim Gordon in the Dark Knight Rises. And I just felt like he could play this role really well.
Always plays the young, handsome second guy. Like Inception, he's not the handsome lead, he's the second guy. In Looper, he's really the second guy, because Bruce Willis is the handsome lead.
Right.
The Trial of Chicago 7, I liked him because he's kind of the bad guy in that, but he still plays with a lot of heart and emotion because he's a district attorney, or he's the lawyer. But I think he's super talented. So who do you have to go against JGL?
So for my pick, I love how Diego Luna gave so much energy and sass to his role.
Sassy.
Sassy. And so I wanted to pick another great Mexican-American actor. So I picked Gail Garcia Bernal, and he does a lot of foreign films, but he's been in Babel, a little bit of Heaven, other roles. He's voice acting in Coco as well. I love the intensity he brings, and I think that intensity equals.
Yeah, because he's great in Mozart in the Jungle on Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. He's going to be in the new M. Night Shyamalan movie, Old.
Yes.
Where he gets old, but he still looks young. I hate him.
Yes.
Because I look old when I'm not old. I always look like old before I was old, but he gets a little bit of lines in his face, and he still looks like he's 30.
He's amazing.
So we have JGL, GGB. So how many people like Joseph Gordon-Levitt for Cassian? It looks like the Cerny family plus 1. So that's 2. With a sage in the back, so we got 3. How many think GGB? Oh, this is going to be tough. It sounds like JGL won that one. You think it's GGB? Yeah. Okay. Alan is one of the judges if he has to. So, Erica, you get a point for that. So now we are tied 1-1. But
awesome.
I also picked GGB.
What? Awesome. Great.
So that means you get an extra point. This
was my hardest pick, honestly. But again, I wanted to keep the flavor of the original character.
Yeah.
And I think GGB's great. I love his work. So
I adore him. I think he's wonderful.
Yes.
And so when I had him, it was great. And also,
Awesome.
I do want you to know that you can verify my list because
I sent mine the last day. So.
No, I know you did. I recast Rogue One earlier this season on the Castoff and just used that list when I saw that you guys didn't copy me. Once I because if you had exactly the same list, I was going to go, oh, I got to redo this. But so it was easy
Surprise!
for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's great. So now we get to Erica. And the great Ben Mendelsohn as Orson Krennic. But of course, whenever I hear of Orson in space, I keep thinking of Mork from Mork. Mork calling Orson, come in Orson. So who do you have playing what Alan calls the best bureaucrat, the most evil bureaucrat
right?
in space?
It is. Again, this one
He's
is
so
a little
petty.
tough. There's a lot of great actors out there that could fit this role. But I went with Ralph Fiennes?
You went with Ray Fiennes.
Fiennes,
It is,
okay, I
it
don't
is
know
spelled
it,
Ralph.
yeah.
I totally get you that. It's Rafe because he's hoity-toity.
Got it. Okay.
He's known for being wonderfully evil.
Yes.
As we know, because we can't say his name in the Harry Potter movies. Of course, he is M, the replacement for Dame Judi Dench. He's M in the Bond movies. He's a psychopath in Schindler's List. We just did the Grand Budapest Hotel for our Matinee Heroes, and he's wonderfully absurd in that. And my personal favorite of his, he's really good as a just mentally distorted Red Dragon.
He's great in any of those mind roles where he's just a clinical psychopath.
Yes.
And it's just, but you love him. You're like, why do I love him? I just do, though.
Well, I keep doing this because I'm used to doing my show. My show is differently set up. So, who do you have?
One of the most current evil actors in the world, and that's Michael Shannon.
Yes.
This guy
That's good.
was absolutely terrifying in The Shape of Water. By time you get to the end of The Shape of Water, you hate him so much that you felt like he really died on screen, and because he's just pure evil. He was. People can say what they want about Man of Steel, but he was a great Zod. I thought, it's hard to go up against Terrence Stamp, but he did a really good job. And this guy can play evil. He can play a bureaucrat. He can be tough and physically demanding against somebody as well. And I would buy him as an evil member of the Empire for sure.
He's got great range because he does play evil, like you just said, but he also plays very inept. In Knives Out, he's just
he's excellent.
He's like a cuckold guy. He's just crazy. But yes, which we can't say because we're being censored. But he was also, for those of you who don't remember, in Groundhog's Day as the groom. He was getting married every time. So whenever you see Bill Murray, huh? Yeah. Oh, that's right. So, and he was in 8 Mile for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. He's in there, but he's great. I love Michael Shannon, and I like him shaved because he's got a beard now, and he looks like me. It's awful. He looks wild. So we have Ray Fiennes, the wonderful Ray Fiennes, and the exceptional Michael Shannon. This is going to be tough because both of these guys can play bad guys. So, who likes Ray Fiennes? We've got this whole side. We got 3. And, it looks like the Cerny family is split decision. Oh, this is going to be a tough ride home tonight. Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon's
we've got a couple more in the back, so Michael Shannon wins
He's
that
great.
one.
I would pick him too for my choice.
So
yeah,
we are now tied at 2 apiece.
Yes.
I went with Gary Oldman because if you want a bad guy, you go with the best.
That's true.
He'd be good at that.
Yeah.
Now we get to Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen playing Chirrut Imwe, the blind Jedi wannabe. And he is so awesome at this because he's the only guy I know besides an Ewok that cracks somebody's head with a stick and shatter a stormtrooper's helmet. I'm trying to figure, they're not good for lasers? There are. They're just there to break people open like pinatas. So, we're going to go with Mark. Mark, who do you have playing the blind Jedi wannabe?
This was another tough one, and but I went with Idris Elba, just because I feel like this guy feels like he could play like this Zen master, but also we are well aware he can kick a lot of butt, whether it's in the not-so-good Dark Tower. He was still awesome in the movie.
It wasn't his fault.
Yeah, no, it wasn't his fault at all. We've seen him in the Thor films. I did not watch the Hobbs and Shaw movie, but I know he was an action hero in that.
He was Black Superman.
Yeah, so it just feels like that he's got a lot of range, too, from his TV show's escaping me
Luther.
that he was on. Luther. Yeah, he was on Luther. And from what he did in, that's what I was thinking, Pacific Rim.
I would move my laptop, but it'd probably crash.
And
so.
and he can be smooth and cool like Tourette was, but he also can open up a can of whoop and when he needs to.
And he's also, I swear to God, he's a professional DJ. So he can do birthday parties and bar mitzvahs too. So that's great. Apparently he can eat hot wings like nobody's business. So Idris Elba, which I know my wife exceptionally she's going to root for this one. I don't know. She doesn't even know what the next one is. She loves Idris Elba. I know my wife. What are you going to do? So who do you have to go up against Black Superman?
So I have Chow Yun-fat. I think that he would be perfect for the role. He brings that serious, that wiseness. He was, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and in The King. I know that's not a great movie to reference him to.
Yeah, but he's good in it.
He's great in it,
Let's
right?
not forget,
yes,
it's not the movie, it's the actor. And he's great in everything he's ever done.
Yes, and so I believe the seriousness that he brings to every role, and just he takes everything seriously, and I think that he would elevate that role so much more.
What's funny is I actually, until almost the moment I sent you my picks, I had him on there.
Yes, yeah, he'd be great.
Well, we've got Idris Elba and Chow Yun-fat. So who is going for Black Superman, Idris Elba? We got a small smattering in my wife on that side. Who's going for the legendary Chinese actor, Chow Yun-fat? And I think that one goes to Chow Yun-fat, because I went with Bruce Lee.
I was thinking about him too. Yeah.
Bruce Lee at his prime would have killed that role. He would have been awesome.
He would have been.
So now we get to, and the great thing about this character is he can be anything you want him to be. He can be best friend. He could be more than best friend of Chirrut. Baze Malbus, he's the practical one. One is the goofy Zen master who, believes in scented candles and the Force. This one believes in guns and getting it done in real life. So we're going to start with Erica.
For my pick, I picked Ken Watanabe. Yes. I would love to see him just a little bit dirty in this. I mean, usually he plays the cool, calm, collected guy, all nice. I would like to see him a little grungy. I would like to see that. He was in Godzilla, The Last Samurai, Inception, great movies. I think he would be perfect for this role and bring another dynamic.
Now, I know a movie that both Alan and I have you seen it yet? Unforgiven? His version. See, so Alan and I have both been hunting for the remake of Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven as a samurai, and this is...
That sounds amazing.
Doesn't it sound amazing? So you want dirty, gritty. I think he is going to be that in Unforgiven.
That's great.
But the only way we can do it is bootleg, so if you have that, please send your information to mhcastoff@gmail.com. We'd love to find a way to get that, because we'd love to see Unforgiven.
I would love to see that.
So now your casting on this one is a little weird for me. So who do you have to play the buddy of Idris Elba?
I had trouble thinking of this one too, and I chose Peter Weller.
Peter Weller,
just because I go back to some of him being RoboCop, and Buckaroo Banzai is one of my favorite crazy movies, and I just think that he could play, if you really watch his range, he could play that guy that keeps the group together like Baze does and gives some sense into him. But he also can kick a lot of butt as he did in the movies he was in. Because, I just felt like he would be a good role for this. This was a really tough one to pick. And I think I had Buckaroo Banzai on that day, and I was like, you know what? I kind of really think Peter Weller could do this.
So you Kaiser Soze'd it.
Yeah,
you just kind of look around the room. Alan does that. Look around the room and go, oh, yeah, that's what it is. That's okay.
Yeah.
That sometimes works out. He has a doctorate in Italian Renaissance art history and teaches at Syracuse University. So he is not just a pretty face. He is actually a very bright and talented person. So I want to make sure he gets credit for his doctorate, because
hard work.
PhD is hard to get.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
So we have Ken Watanabe, Peter Weller. So who wants Ken Watanabe? Who would like Peter Weller?
Thanks,
Ooh,
Michael.
and a hush falls over the crowd. Your son, because he got a free T-shirt out of it. Good loyalty. That's a good son. Don't ever forget that. Rub it in when he says, when you do something wrong, you say, hey, I clapped for that stupid Peter Weller pick. You'll always be his favorite. Right?
That's true.
Well, today. I went with Benedict Wong, because I just like him as a good sidekick buddy. But Ken Watanabe wins the point, so that is you're starting to run away with it. It's 4-2 with only 2 left.
Okay.
So Mark has to pick it up.
Mark, pick it up.
I'm going to see what I can do.
So now we get to one of my favorite actors now, and he's becoming one of my favorites of all time, and that's Mads Mickelson, because he has range. You want to talk about a guy who's has range. He can play vile, evil Hannibal Lecter, but then he can play sweet dad, Gail and Erso, and then he can play a crazy guy who has to be drunk all day long. And
I was about to ask, did you see that movie?
I haven't seen it yet, but he was the one that's always another round.
Another round, yeah.
And then there's that new one where he's Riders of Justice. So we're going to start with Mark. You have to make up for that Peter Weller pick.
Okay.
Who do you have playing someone who can be smart enough to destroy the Death Star,
right,
but kind enough to die for it and take the blame?
I went with Russell Crowe. I think that as he's getting, we've seen it in A Beautiful Mind. Obviously his acting range, as he gets older, he seems to be taking on more parts, like where he could be that father figure, but he also can definitely destroy a Death Star if he wanted. From Gladiator to his other films that he's done recently. What was the one that came out? I watched it, Unhinged. Yeah.
Unhinged.
So he definitely can, be violent if he has to, but also has a soft heart, and he's an amazing actor. Obviously, we know that. He's done a lot since he's come onto the scene, and L.A. Confidential is one of my favorite movies he's ever been in, and he's so good in that. And I just think that he would play this part perfectly, because it was also a hard one to match up too, because like you said, Mads is amazing in the film.
Who goes up against
him? But I think Russell Crowe could do this role in that range, from being a father who's trying to help, but also trying not to die either, essentially, because he's trying to do what the Empire asked him to do.
And you need someone who actually portrays intelligence, because he's got to be the leader of all these engineers who do this. So you can't have, no offense, Sylvester Stallone, you're not going to be running a department full of engineers.
Right.
But Gladiator, LA Confidential, The Nice Guys, Master and Commander, Quick and the Dead, all movies we've covered on Matinee Heroes. So go to matineeheroes.com and listen to our back catalog. Anytime we get one person who gets them all in, that's always a good bonus. So good suck up there, buddy. All right.
So for this pick, I don't know how to say his name properly.
I'll help you out.
So is it Nikolaj Coster-Waldau?
Waldo. Where's Waldo? Where's Coster Waldo?
There we go.
Yeah.
I mean, he's great in any action movie. Everything that I've seen him in, it's very action-packed. Of course, well known from Games of Thrones. I could see him doing a good dad role in this movie. I mean, he's bringing the looks that Mads has, the sultriness, and he's good in action.
Yeah, good at keeping it in the family as well.
Yes.
But of course, if your sister's Lena Headey, I mean, I don't know. I don't have a sister, so I don't know. But you can't blame the guy. She's wonderful. But he's been in Gods of Egypt, so even he makes mistakes. But he was in Oblivion.
That's a fun movie.
Well, Firewall was garbage, and that has Harrison Ford in it, and we're never doing that one. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So we have Russell Crowe, the great Russell Crowe, the great Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, who I loved him in, was it New Amsterdam that he was, it's the first New Amsterdam that was in the 90s or 2000s, where he plays a immortal who lives in, he was shot in the Revolutionary War, and then he lives in New York as a detective, and he keeps changing identities. It was a great show on Fox, but Fox cancels everything after a year.
Yes.
So who would like Russell Crowe? That's 3. And how many would like Nikolaj Waldo? Oh.
Comeback is on.
That comeback it's going to be very difficult, because it is now 5-2, and actually with that it's impossible for you to come back. So we don't have to continue.
5-2. Oh, okay.
Erica, you have won.
Oh, awesome.
So I went with Stanley Tucci, because I love Stanley Tucci and I just want to put him in there. But before we get to the final thought, we'll just go through the last one, because we don't do the post show.
Yeah.
And that is going to be the amazing Riz Ahmed who playing Bondi Rook, the young, I guess he's an engineer of some sort, but he's also the guy who has to get the mind control from the aliens.
Yes.
So he's the pilot, that's it. So we're going to start with Erica. You've already won, so
Yes.
you can really literally say anything.
So I picked Dev Patel.
Dev Patel, of course.
Slumdog Millionaire. I mean, they're almost identical with the energy that they bring. Very serious actor, well, with his roles, how he portrays them. And so very much same energy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Lion, which was a great movie. The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel,
Yes.
which is probably the only movie my mom and I really like. We both loved it. That was a surprisingly good movie. I love that.
It was a good movie.
It's just weird that old people retiring to India, starting a hotel, would be a movie that would be captivating and wonderful.
Yeah.
But even he makes mistakes, as we all saw, Chappie. All right, Mark. You went with another weird one on this one.
I didn't think this was weird though.
This one's gonna be weird.
Don't judge him.
I feel like
I can judge him. It's my job. I judge.
Well, I feel like Bodhi he's a soldier, but yet he's thrown into this impossible situation that he kind of doesn't want to be in. You can see it on his face. So I look at Eric Bana and Troy, especially when he has to defend his brother, even though he doesn't want to be in this situation, but he does what he has to defend the city of Troy. And even in Black Hawk Down, he's in this, again, an impossible situation. I know he plays a real-life soldier in that, but you can just see it on his face that he's doing everything he can to keep it together and survive. And I felt like that he would have made a good Bodhi for that reason.
And he's fantastic in Munich.
Oh, yeah.
Munich is... We're going to do that one sometime in the near future. We're talking about Spielberg movies. See, there's another one we can add to it. He was also the bad guy in Star Trek. And
Yeah, excellent in it, too.
I didn't see Lone Survivor, but I don't know if he is the survivor or not. I know Mark Wahlberg is the lone survivor, right?
Yeah.
So he must have died in that one, so I don't know. So, just for S&Gs, for stuffs and giggles, we've got Dev Patel versus Eric Bana. Or Eric Bana is what his real name is. But that's okay. We're in Texas, it's Bana. Eric Toilet, Banyo. Who likes Dev Patel? Who's going with Eric Bana? The pity clap and the sun. Don't forget me, I'm your favorite dad. The Forgotten Hulk. That's if you go back, see, he's the Forgotten Hulk. Everybody forgot that he was the Hulk. I went with Rami Malek.
Okay.
Who he looks weird all the time.
He does. I don't know who would seem like almost like he's too antsy for me.
But congratulations, Erica.
Thank
Job
you.
well done. You have the final thoughts, so you can talk about anything you like. You can plug your show. You can plug the convention. You can do anything you like. You have the final say.
Yeah, no, this was great. I thought I was going to do a lot worse than I did. I did not think I was going to win. So I know this was a great pick. This movie isn't as popular as the other Star Wars movies.
Is it? I think it's fairly popular.
Oh, maybe it's just in our household. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of people like this better.
that. Like I just we don't like it.
I think people like this better than like the sequels.
Really?
Yeah.
I am so surprised.
They're coming around to
We're
it.
just ostracized over here then. Okay. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, no, it was really fun to pick these roles. Like I said, you can, on my shows, Raging Nerds, Dysfunctional Dailies, that's coming out, Gaming Trend Podcast. You can follow me anywhere at The Raging Erica. And yeah, that's it.
Well, let's go back and see what if the audience has any suggestions and see what they've got, because Jyn Erso could have been. I think they kind of downplayed. I'd like to see what the original story was going to be, because she seemed a little too reluctant in this. I wanted her to be a lot more gung ho about it. Anybody have a good suggestion for Jyn Erso? Keira Knightley, okay.
I could see that.
She was a good Padme replacement, as she played one of the Padme replacements.
Yeah.
Anybody else have a good Jyn Erso? I don't, George. I don't want to trust George to say something. He's gonna say like Martha Ray or something. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What about a Cassian Andor? Because that one, I think he's gonna have his new show on. So anybody have a good Rebel? Antonio Banderas.
That was one of my other choices.
He's gonna be in the Indy 5. I can't wait. Indiana Jones 5 sounds great as long as Harrison Ford's not in it, because apparently they can work around him for weeks at a time. So I don't know how that's going to work. I think he's going to just show up at the beginning, at the end, like in the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. Anybody have a good bad guy for Orson Krennic? They all were great picks. Eric is even better than Mark's.
I'm surprised.
Only because
Like
you
Mark, like you really failed on this one. Like, what's
Yeah,
going on?
it was just.
Isn't this your thing?
It was a blowout. It was just disgusting. I can't believe you've been on the show,
And
Mark.
I felt good
you know
about
what? I'm going to unsubscribe your podcast.
Yeah,
I know.
Mark's
now.
like, leave me alone.
What movie did I do? We all The Great Escape, and even Alan was blown away by my picks. I was all proud of myself.
He liked Eric Bana. He was the one clapping for Eric Bana. A combo for Chirowit and Bays. Anybody like the two friends? Anybody have a replacement for those? Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
I would love that.
Who's who? Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
don't body shame. They can switch her up. It's roles. They don't have to be. So, yeah. All right. See, the people are already. Leave it to my wife. She does this on our cast off. She's like, no, that's not a good pick. She loves Idris. That's why. So she can't possibly go against the two. Well, what she's saying is she doesn't buy that Idris and Peter Weller would be friends.
Makes sense.
That it does. Now, Chow Yun-fat and Ken Watanabe, I can see them going out for
Yes.
beers. I can see. She can see Idris and
Yes, I can see that too, for sure.
Ken, and even with Benedict Wong. But Peter Weller is just thrown in there like he's like he was one of the executives made notes and said we got to get Peter Weller in this contractually obligated.
Let's go 80s. Let's go Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme and Sylvester Stallone. Oh man, you would need subtitles. We don't need subtitles for these two, which is
Well, if you're-
ironic because they do foreign movies. Who? Raoul and Christopher Lloyd. All right. Anybody got a good dad for Gail and Erso?
It's hard to like repick like Mads. He was great in the role.
I know. I
Yeah.
didn't want to. Again, it's not because he's not good.
I
We
know,
love
yeah, I
Mads.
know, but it was like who can do like come on. But yeah, it was hard to envision.
Well, I'm looking around the room here, and we're going to see what we got, because I got one more T-shirt to give away, that's why. So anybody have a good double feature for a T-shirt? What would you put with Rogue One that's not a Star Wars movie? That's a lazy pick. You couldn't even give me a title of a war movie. Nope, too late. Because you're wearing it. The Dirty Dozen. All right. Well, who would like a shirt? Anybody would like a large manatee Mandalorian shirt?
Free. It's free. It's free.
Never mind. I'm gonna take it home then. Forget it. The hell with you
They're
people.
cute.
The hell with all of you. So, just to remind you guys, yeah. I don't care. I'm done.
said
It's the end of the
I'm
con. What are you gonna do? Take my badge away? Here, have it. Throw it. I'm out of here. Anyways, we've got. If you'd like to be on the live stream show that happens every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central, you can head over to matineeheroes.com/castoff/application. And you can also email mhcastoff@gmail.com. We've had several great people come on the show through the application process, and they've actually won. So we've gotten some great people through this. Also, you can follow us on. I got my movie one. You can follow us on the Castoff Show on Twitter. Matinee Heroes, I got a Facebook group, matineeheroes.com/castoff to find a video stream that you'd like. That could be twitch.tv. It could be YouTube. It could be anything. So on behalf of today's winner, Erica Corbett,
Yes.
I don't even remember your last name, so that's how perfect
Okay.
that situation is.
Okay.
When I see you, I just think you are Erica Corbett.
Well, that's
And I'm
good.
so happy that you guys got married.
Thank you.
You guys are a sweet couple. It's perfect. So we're
God,
very
thank
happy when that happened. That was very nice.
Awesome.
Sorry we couldn't be here for it.
No,
but
we're gonna have like a real wedding.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
It's okay.
We're gonna do that later.
No,
Yeah.
You were legitimately married, right?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm
Yeah.
worried it's all a scam.
Yeah.
It's all
No,
for,
we're
it's like an Instagram
we went to like the courthouse and everything like
It's
that.
legal.
It is very legal.
Absolutely.
Very legal.
So happy for you guys.
Yes.
So that's great. You and Justin, fantastic.
Yes.
Mark, you have great kids. I see them on the Facebook page all the time. You got one loyal guy over here constantly fighting for you. It's nice to have kids fight for you, isn't it?
That's true. If no one else, you have them.
So on behalf of Erica Corbett, Mark Neiser, I'm Craig Price. We'll see you on the next Cast Off.